everyone, we know how hard it can be to keep up with the latest news in Israel. So if you haven't had the time to stay on top of what's what in the Holy Land, have no worries. I'm Natasha Kirchuk, and this is ILTV's Weekly Review. Following the United States' withdrawal from northeastern Syria last month, Turkish armies have invaded the territory under the guise of eliminating Kurdish terrorist groups and establishing a safe zone for Syrian refugees.
But even after ending the siege, hundreds of thousands of ethnic Kurdish civilians have been displaced and hundreds more have been killed.
Well, Israel, which has long been an ally to the Kurds, may not be able to physically defend these people from harm. But according to senior Israeli officials, Israel has been providing aid to the Kurds of northern Syria ever since the United States pulled out.
אבל לישראל יש אכן אינטרס מובהק לשמור על כוחם של הכורדים והמיעוטים הנוספים באזור צפון סוריה כגורמים מתונים ופרו-מערביים שהוכיחו את נכסיותם פעמים רבות לאורך השנים, במיוחד בזמן הלחימה נגד דאעש.
Deputy Foreign Minister Tzipi Hotovely revealed Wednesday that Israel has received many Kurdish requests for assistance, mainly diplomatic and humanitarian, and that Israel is responding to the call through a range of channels. But this is the first such confirmation that Israel is actually committing to Prime Minister Netanyahu's October promises to support the Kurds in Syria.
And despite not giving any details regarding how Israel is supporting the Kurds in particular, Hotovely explains that helping the Kurds is a win-win for Israel and the region, especially since they've been instrumental both against the Islamic State and Iran.
ההתמוטטות האפשרית של האחיזה הכורדית בצפון סוריה אינה תרחיש שלילי ומסוכן מבחינת ישראל. ברור לחלוטין שאירוע כזה יביא להתחזקות גורמים שליליים באזור בראשות איראן.
But most importantly, Hotovely says that really this is a moral stand that Israel is proud to take. Israel has long been petitioning the international community to install stricter oversight over UNRWA, the international UN agency specifically designed to care for the welfare of Palestinian refugees. But after years of mismanagement and allegations of incitement to terrorism, among other major issues, Israel is now pushing for UNRWA's complete shutdown, with Israeli Foreign Minister Israel Katz saying that the renewal of UNRWA's mandate would be unreasonable and immoral. In fact, he again explains that the agency is part of the problem and not the solution by perpetuating the refugee issue in a political manner while distancing any possibility for future resolution. And it's true that under UNRWA's special definitions, the number of Palestinian refugees alone has exploded from 750,000 in 1948 to over 5.5 million today, whereas all other refugee populations on Earth decline over time under the UNHCR. Well, now, to make matters worse, just a few weeks ahead of the deadline to renew its mandate, UNRWA's Commissioner General, Pierre Kranbuhl, is resigning. The news comes amid investigations into allegations of misconduct and adds fuel to the close UNRWA fire, with Israeli UN Ambassador Dani Danon saying that this compounds the reasons that UNRWA should be shut down and alternative models for refugees are considered. For now, though, the details of the probe against Kranbuhl remain mum, and he'll be replaced for the time being by acting officer in charge to UNRWA, Christian Saunders. Moving on now to the east, Israel and Jordan have finally reached an agreement to conclude their latest conflict.
And the governments in Amman and Jerusalem made the declarations on Monday after months of deteriorating ties.
Ending 2 months of tensions and a near 40-day hunger strike, Israel and Jordan are announcing that 2 Jordanian nationals held in Israel will be returned to Amman by week's end. Heba al-Labadi and Abdul Rahman Miri were arrested in late August and early September as they entered into Israel illegally through the Allenby crossing, and they've been held under Israeli administrative detention ever since on suspicion of involvement in serious security violations. Specifically, al-Labadi, for one, allegedly met members of the Hezbollah terror group multiple times between 2018 and 2019. But Jordanian ties with Israel have soured dramatically in the wake of this and other recent disagreements. Amman even recalled its ambassador in Tel Aviv, Ghassan Majali, in protest over the detentions, while Jordanian Foreign Affairs head Nidal Ta'ani suggested taking a political prisoner of their own to place pressure on Jerusalem. But in any case, Israel has reached an agreement with Jordan regarding the exchange of Miri and Labadi, stating that Israel views the relationship with Jordan as a cornerstone of regional stability and will continue to act to ensure the region's security. It's now been 40 long years since the Iranian Revolution and 444-day hostage crisis that gave way for the modern Iran. And to celebrate, Iranian President Hassan Rouhani is announcing that Tehran is beginning to inject uranium gas into over 1,000 nuclear centrifuges at the Fordow facility. Before now, the centrifuges spun empty as per the 2015 JCPOA deal. But this is just the latest in a series of antagonistic actions and withdrawals from international agreements. In fact, just the day before, Tehran announced that it would also be doubling its operational number of IR-6 centrifuges, and Iranian leaders have stated that they will continue to push the boundaries until the US and European powers cave into their demands. Tehran has also been blaming the United States and Israel for the protests in Iraq and in Lebanon. The United States is accusing Iran of nuclear extortion, however, with the State Department saying that Iran has no credible reason to expand its uranium enrichment program, and that the U.S. will continue to impose maximum pressures on the regime in Tehran. Similarly, the State Department's new report on terrorism, published Friday, again confirms that Iran is still the world's worst state sponsor of terror, and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed never to let Iran develop nuclear arms. But with regional borders breaking down and the future uncertain, it seems everyone in the Middle East will have to remain on their toes.
Well, in the days since another 10 rockets rained down on southern Israel from Gaza, Qatari envoy to the Strip Mohammed Al-Emadi is announcing that his nation will have difficulties continuing its financing of the Hamas terror group-led enclave.
Qatar has been funneling $30 million per month since last March as part of an agreement to keep Gaza from financial collapse. And since 2012, Qatar is estimated to have spent over $1 billion on the Strip.
Well, to keep the money coming, Hamas sources say they will try to appeal the decision. They also explained that the deficit could lead to an explosion with Israel. At a rally on Monday, Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar even waved around a gun, threatening to turn Israeli cities into ghost towns.
He also warns that the terror group has enough rockets to hit Tel Aviv for 6 months in a row, and that if Israel invades, Hamas will make them curse the day they were born. But many in the government are unfazed by Hamas's latest threats, with Labor leader Amir Peretz now repeating after Benny Gantz in calling on the government to give Gaza an ultimatum: demilitarize or face an overwhelming ground force invasion.
Similarly, Sderot Mayor Alon Davidi conveyed the feelings of the residents who are living in the city who have for years suffered under constant threat of rocket attack. And just this past weekend, they were hit again, with one rocket even destroying a family home.
But Davidi says that Israel is giving immunity to terrorists by not responding more seriously. Quote, "It's been high time for a while to put an end to this routine emergency reality via a wide-scale military operation in Gaza, including assassinating Hamas leaders." All hands are on deck and on high alert Sunday morning as the IDF prepares for an escalation in violence from the Gaza Strip following yet another weekend of rockets. Beginning Friday evening, just as Israelis were sitting down for Shabbat dinner, at least 10 missiles were launched from the Hamas-run enclave, setting off alarms and the Iron Dome system. Now, one rocket during the strikes even struck a home in the southern city of Sderot, as seen in this CCTV footage. Though luckily no one was hurt, because the parents and the children who lived in the house ran to protected areas just before the projectile hit. Well, in response, as per usual, Israel conducted airstrikes against Hamas targets in Gaza, reportedly killing one and wounding 2 more. Israel holds Hamas responsible for any attack that comes from the Strip, in spite of the fact that the Palestinian Islamic Jihad terror group is believed to be behind these latest strikes and not Hamas. This policy, however, is in part why many Israeli leaders are at odds on what to do next. MK Naftali Bennett, for one, agrees that we should be prepared for more, but that for now, there's no point in a stronger response, as it will only lead to unnecessary spinning. Former IDF Chief of Staff and Blue and White Party leader Benny Gantz, on the other hand, says that we must strike harder to restore deterrence, including the reintroduction of targeted assassinations.
בממשלה שאקים נחזיר את ההרתעה בכל אמצעי שעומד לרשותנו. ראשי החמאס יישאו באחריות אישית, מפקדות החמאס יושמדו, תקופת ההפלגה תתקיים אם לא יהיה שקט מוחלט בדרום. נחזיר את ההרתעה ונדע להילחם, אבל גם נדע לנצל אותה ולהחזיר את התקווה בדיוק כפי שהיה נוהג יצחק לו היה איתנו כאן היום.
Either way, many defense experts are starting to suspect Iranian proxy and Palestinian Islamic Jihad leader in Gaza, Baha Abu al-Atta, of orchestrating the latest string of attacks, meaning that something will likely have to be done soon one way or another, and attacking Hamas alone may not be enough. But back in politics, it's day 12 of Benny Gantz's historic bid to form a government in Israel, and it seems like talks are finally moving forward, even if just at a crawl's pace.
Not too surprising is that the majority of the public supports these negotiations, according to a new survey by the Israel Democracy Institute. Now, the report released on Sunday claims that a 62% majority of Israelis would support their respective parties in joining a coalition under the Blue and White Party and its chairman, Benny Gantz, including nearly half of voters on the right, the Joint Arab List, and even the Likud.
Supporters of the religious Jewish parties were more reluctant, however, over sitting with Blue and White's number 2, Yair Lapid. But the thing is that while 62% supported unity under Gantz and 53% supported unity in general, the report also found that the reason wasn't necessarily support for Blue and White. Rather, it's simply an aversion to third elections.
Yeah, in fact, only 17.5% of respondents supported a third vote, while only 43% say they're optimistic about the future of democracy in the country. But as third elections become a more pressing reality, the 55-member-strong right-wing bloc appears to weaken more and more, making way for a coalition to finally take form, but regardless of who's in charge.
All right, in other news, a new European criminal report for 2018 reveals that anti-Semitic attacks in Sweden are at an all-time high.
In fact, jumping up 53% from the previous year, Swedish Jews reported suffering 280 anti-Semitic hate crimes, 4% of the total crimes reported, despite making up just 0.2% of the population. Now, ILTV's Nittany Manson has the story.
But similarly alarming reports have come out all over the world, from the UK to France, Canada, and the US. Just this week, multiple Jews in the community of Borough Park, New York, were assaulted in a spree of attacks. CCTV footage shows the same few men driving around and getting out just to attack the Jews. Meanwhile, in Colorado, men dressed as Jews handed out Holocaust denial flyers at a mall. And following an FBI sting operation, 27-year-old Richard Holzer was arrested for plotting to bomb one of the state's oldest synagogues.
According to the complaint affidavit, Mr. Holzer self-identifies as a skinhead and a white supremacist. During the investigation, FBI agents became aware of racist, anti-Semitic, and threatening statements made by Mr. Holzer on social media. Mr. Holzer repeatedly expressed his hatred of Jewish people and his support of a racial holy war.
Holzer, a self-described white supremacist, was approached by undercover agents with whom he discussed his plans to attack during a busy Saturday service. And he's now facing up to 20 years on charges of attempting to obstruct religious exercise by force. Well, in light of these increasingly worrisome reports, EU Parliament member Caroline Edstadler says we need to increase security wherever Jewish life takes place. She also chairs the EU's working group on anti-Semitism, and explains that unfortunately there is a pressing need for this. We can argue about whether police in front of synagogues is good or bad, but it is clearly a necessity. She also adds that the EU should avoid making unilateral decisions that affect the Israel-Palestinian conflict. Decisions like the upcoming EU High Court's ruling on the labeling of Israeli settlement products.
All right, now we hope you take care of your teeth, because in 40,000 years from now, someone might be examining them,
That's
right,
well,
Aaron?
I think that kind of needs an explainer, Natasha, because 6 teeth were actually discovered in the town of Manot in the north of Israel. They're 40,000 years old, and Tel Aviv University researchers have had them under the microscope. They say it's just the evidence that they were finally looking for to put some debates about Middle East European migration patterns to rest.
Serious debates. All right, exactly, because teeth have enamel. They're actually great records of history, even better than other bones. And while some archaeologists believe most travel happened from the Levant region towards Europe, it turns out that these teeth show how some early humans made the trip in the opposite direction. Also, the European human findings predate any human remains found in Israel to date, and leading researchers now believe that the teeth belonged to early humans instead of Neanderthals, the species that were likely living in this region at the time.
Now, the Aurignacian people are known to be one of the earliest human groups from Europe, and they're considered to have been artists, leaving behind cave paintings, including the famous drawing of a hand that was found in a French cavern. And similarly, in Israel, a horse painting was found inside a cave.
But whoever they belong to, the teeth are likely to be put on display at the new Museum of Natural History here in Tel Aviv.
Which is good, because I want to go and compare.
Yeah, of course, because you're an artist yourself, so you want to be able to make sure that, you know.
Well, I want to make sure my teeth match up.
Well, now after this story, I think we both. After this story, I think we both realize how much more we need to take care of our dental hygiene, because this is crazy.
The votes are in, and Israel is officially considered number 15 out of 20 in the top 20 countries in the world to travel to. Or at least that's what the readers at Condé Nast said when ranking countries in terms of top places to visit in 2019. Israel scored 89.54%, coming in one spot before Colombia and one after Tanzania. For us, though, it's no wonder why people would love to come, especially as having some of the top-rated hotels in the Middle East doesn't hurt either. In fact, in another report from Condé Nast, 4 Jerusalem hotels were ranked in the top 15 list as well, including the David Citadel Hotel, Mamila, the Waldorf Astoria, and the King David. The other hotels in the list are in the UAE, Qatar, and Oman, though. But at any rate, Israel's popularity shows, as recent reports say tourism in Israel is up by 10% from 2018. And Israel's Ministry of Tourism says that Israel is a leading tourism destination and that digital marketing campaigns have been successful in new markets and are the reason that Israel has broken records in tourism 2 years in a row. In other news, Israel has never before participated in the Summer Olympic Games for surfing.
But that's finally all changing ahead of the next event. ILTV's Nittany Manson has the story.
Israeli surfer Anat Lelior won her first ever qualifier event, putting Israel on the map for surfing in the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. And Lelior is currently in the Israeli Defense Force, but she says she's getting a load of support from the army while she rides that Olympic wave, hopefully all the way to the east. After taking first place at an August World Surf League event, Lelior went on to qualify for the Olympics in another match 3 weeks later. And the surf pro will represent Israel under the women's European slot. But only 2 of each gender are allowed to compete per country, and Lelior's spot on the team has not been confirmed. Still, she says surfing has allowed her to make friends from Iran, Costa Rica, and Hawaii, and she's being sponsored by an investment company and surf shop in Israel, saying that because of this experience, she's expecting even more from herself.
It's amazing. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of surfers here in Israel, so I'm not surprised
and
that...
Congratulations, Lelior.
Of course.
Yeah.
You're in Israel and you finally want a taste of authentic Israeli food. But here's the thing, authentic Israeli food is international in of itself. That's because the Israeli kitchen is an immigrant kitchen. Today, we're going to travel the world through food at one of Israel's most trendy foodie destinations, the Carmel Market in Tel Aviv.
This is bocca roast beef.
This is the Italian pita.
It's not just Italian, it's Roman Jewish. We have special food and even a special language. Buon appetito.
I don't even know where to start. Where do I start?
Right here.
Oh, wow, wow, wow.
להכין לך משהו?
No, I know I'm supposed to share this with you, but no.
There's no really Italian food with no homemade limoncello.
I feel like they're screaming on purpose. Okay, ready? Panja l'shnia. Bienvenidos a Viva México. Bueno, Pepe, ¿qué nos vas a preparar?
Unos exquisitos tacos de pollo. Los taquitos preparados. Mi esposa y yo decidimos abrir un restaurante mexicano porque es mantener la identidad. Tengo salsa verde, salsa roja.
I'm trying to keep up with him.
Yo agarro mi taco, tú agarras tu taco. Se toma por la parte de arriba.
Okay.
Por la parte de arriba. La otra arriba, eso. El dedo es muy importante como si fuera champán. Hacemos la cadera hacia atrás para no escurrir. Giramos la cabeza y lo introducimos y deleitamos el taco así. ¡Delicioso, amigos!
I gave him the bite with all the spice. Now we're in Africa, in Libya, at Shuli's. All the recipes that he's serving here, he grew up eating in his grandmother's house. Yoav, the man behind the magic, he refuses to be interviewed on camera, but that's okay because we have Eldar, this hot, sexy young man.
This is couscous handmade becha, it's called. It's like meat mafroum. It's like potato sandwich with meat inside. Matbucha, shirshit. And this one is spicy, so good luck with it.
Wow. It seems really inauthentic that I keep on saying wow every time I eat something here. Wow. But everything is very, very good. Very good. Woo! אני אגיד את זה משהו עליך, בסדר? Okay? Ready? All right. This is the type of place that you come if you really want homemade, authentic food and to make some new friends. All right? Okay, 3, 2, 1. We are in Thailand. Are you filming me? Okay, 3, 2. Wow, all that alcohol. One thing that I just want to say to everybody here is that beware, if you eat in Israel, you are going to have shots forced down your throat. Welcome to Thailand.
I hear a lot of stories that people go to Thailand and they are like to eat Thai food. So that's why I have an idea to open here.
I don't think I can handle any more spice today.
Yeah, you see it's spicy now. They like spicy, they like the taste of the food.
I've eaten so much today in the shuk that I don't think I can go on. So we're just gonna watch other people eat here. Was it hard for you to move to Israel in the beginning, or do you like Israel?
I love it. Love here. I feel like I'm in home. ขอบคุณค่ะ
That's it for ILTV's weekly review. See you next week.